they added in Tom Cruise's The Mummy, and they're all battling big budget $100 million movies, but just let the games begin for the second time when he said it. And I loved him, just Charles Dance looking awesome in a suit saying that line. So that's my number 5.
That is such an interesting concept for a film. It's like the master vampire tracks down his protege and is like, we're going to kill the demon that turned us into vampires. Like, that's pretty rad, actually.
Right?
I want to see that movie and not, I would have given up Dracula Untold to see that movie.
Just suits and ties, Kingsman with vampires? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay, my number 4 is Dracula's armor. I am a sucker for really good armor.
Mm-hmm.
This was really good, and I like that it sort of paid homage to Bram Stoker's Dracula. That suit of armor is crazy.
Academy Award winning.
It's so good. Yeah, I remember watching that film when I was way too young. I should not have been watching it.
Oh,
but I love just one small thing. Armor's great. Give me some more armor.
I love that. That armor looks great. And knowing it was coming, so this is random too, but I did an event in Calistoga close to Napa. And I made, we had a day off, and I just made my wife drive to Francis Ford Coppola's winery so I could see that armor that they have on display.
So you're so lucky.
Yeah, we had a couple some wine, but I was like, I got to see that armor because that's iconic, man. And I saw that when I was like you, way too young, and it left such an impact on me. And so seeing it again just brought back all my childhood happiness. And it's just, I'm a simple guy. I put the armor on. I'm happy. It's cool. I dig it. Show me that. All right. So my number 4 is, so when his wife is about to die, Morena, and they steal his kid, played by Rickon, they shot in Northern Ireland, so they brought in a ton of Game of Thrones actors for this, because that's where they shot in Belfast as well. But there's a scene where Vlad senses that she's going to fall and something bad is happening back at that abbey. So he takes off flying. And there's one henchman left, of Mehmed's henchman left. And Vlad just flies into this supposedly incredibly badass henchman, just wipes the thing off the face of the earth. And it just shows how powerful he is. I love it. There's this henchman who's super snide. I think I'm the best. I'm going to kill everybody. And he just tosses this thing away, doesn't care about him at all. And I thought that was kind of a gangster move by Vlad. Just, you set up this kind of tough henchman, and then Vlad just flicks him away like it's nothing.
Yeah. But they set him that character up by murdering a bunch of Vlad's friends. He just went on a rampage.
Yeah.
Through the movies. It's like, oh, are you another white guy with blonde hair? Now you're dead.
I love it, man. He just bat that thing away. Bat. Oh, brother, he was a bat. But that was an accidental pun, but that was my number 4.
Okay. My number 3, I think it's going to be higher than yours. We're definitely going to overlap on this, is the 1 versus many fight, but specifically the sword POV.
Smart, that was an awesome move.
It's so good. You're not going to see that very often, and it made everything more unique. And for listeners, basically the camera shows what's happening through a reflection of the sword, and shows Dracula just whooping ass. And it's just something I hadn't seen before, and I'm a sucker for new things.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was inventive. It was neat. I mean, the audience would get worn out if we saw him kill 1,000 people. And so he runs in there seeing that sword. It was inventive. It was fun. It was a different take on it. And actually, if you watch the Blu-ray, they show a lot of behind-the-scenes footage of that fight. It was all on green screen. And I think they found a way to make it visually impressive, like you said. We have never seen that before. I'm going to do that. All right, number 3 is I'm going to go with the silver fight at the end with just a ton of coins. You have Dominic Cooper as Mehmed just waiting on Dracula. Dracula should have just flown on the thing and crushed him. But he just waits, and he goes in there, and it's just all silver bags that are strung up in the air. It reminded me of Elektra's training in Daredevil. But then he's just cutting them, and it's just okay, so how are we going to have these two face off? Dracula would rip his head off, pull his skull out, pour some Code Red into it, and drink it. We need to find a way to have these former friends, this guy who was going to take his child, help kill his wife. We got to have them stand up. How do we do it? Let's just throw silver on the ground. And you know what's kind of wild is, in the logic of this movie, I got it. It's like, oh, his powers are draining, so it's a fair fight. It's cool. I get it.
Yeah.
I dig it. It's fine. It works, but it was new.
Yeah, I have some stuff to talk about that scene before we get to number 2 and 1. When doing my research for this film, I was like, why are vampires hurt by silver? Because like I didn't understand it, and it led me down a really weird rabbit hole. And to be frank, I still don't quite get it. I don't think there's any definitive proof. But what I came across was a couple different theories. And one of them is that in the Bible, silver represents redemption. Of course, I don't know that. I went to Catholic school, private school for 12 years, and I can't tell if I say that for certain. But the idea is like, well, he can't be redeemed, so the silver hurts him. And I'm assuming it relates to something to Judas and the coins that he got for betraying Jesus. And then I started reading about like spirituality, and I don't understand this, but someone was like, yeah, silver represents the opposite of the moon. And I was like, my head started spinning. I was like, all right, I'm done with it. In this movie, silver works.
Because someone in a book wrote it once.
Yeah. It's not even in Dracula. I was reading the review. Someone's like, yeah, silver's not mentioned in Dracula. We have no idea where this came from.
Wow.
But I wanted to ask you, like, what metal would you want to be deathly allergic to if you were a vampire?
What metal? Oh man, let's see. So we could call it death metal.
Oh my god, amazing!
Crushing puns. Okay, what? Okay, a metal that you can bear.
I guess you can say what's the worst and what's the best. It's like what's the worst metal to be allergic to?
I mean, where do you find silver nowadays?
It's a precious metal. It's still in the ground.
Yeah. Gosh. All right. Can I type in rare metal?
Oh, precious metals.
Precious metals.
So I did this too. So you go ahead and look it up because I sort of took you off guard.
Platinum. You never see platinum around.
Not a lot of it. No.
You probably see more silver than platinum.
Yeah, so if you're allergic to platinum, you're in better shape.
I mean, it's easier to go with silver than platinum when you do your records, right? And it's easier to go gold than platinum.
That's true.
Stupid joke. Yeah, platinum. There we go. I'll take platinum.
Okay. I feel like the worst one, it would be aluminum. Or, excuse me, aluminium.
Aluminium.
Dracula would say. Because it's
everywhere.
So much of it. It's everywhere.
Yeah, that'd be terrible.
You're like walking around and you're like Van Helsing like pulls off some siding from a house and just whips you with it.
No. Yeah.
Van Helsing, you smart SOB.
I'd have to go to I'd have to move to the rainforest or something, or the desert, somewhere with caves, and then he would just come block me off with one of those, wedge me in there so I can never get out and become Charles Dance.
Can't jump over a fence or anything because you can't touch it. It would be a nightmare.
Aluminum. Aluminum. How do they say? I can't say it.
Aluminum and aluminium.
Aluminium. There we go.
Okay. That is a super aside, but I thought that the entire way through this movie.
Yeah. Platinum.
Okay. Number 2.
Okay, so you're up. Good.
Yeah. Number 2, and you know what? Now I'm reading this, I'm surprised this isn't number 1. I must have done this pretty quickly. Number 2 is the bat punch. I love the idea
yes.
that Dracula's just like, I have thousands of bats, and I'm gonna punch people with them. And he has zero regard for the bat's safety. Like, bats are not a renewable resource.
No, he killed a lot of bats here,
and you never see their bodies. He's just like, hit the ground, punch them. But it's such a weird, strange superpower that I really dug it.
Maybe these bats are stronger than we realize, or they get bat power with Dracula. But yeah, he was killing the heck out of people, man.
The punch. It's just like one punch when he raises his hand. It's like, oh, it's bat time.
Vlad smash.
Here's what I also thought while watching that scene. I was like, oh, what is the equivalent of that in New York City? And I was like, I wish I could summon some pigeons, like pigeon smash, or instead of turning to a cloud of bats, I'd turn into a cloud of pigeons.
That'd be deadly too. I mean, they're bigger beaks, maybe bigger claws.
Yeah,
they're heftier.
Yeah. They don't get chased away as much.
Yeah, and especially New York pigeons, they're tough. They're bigger. Man, you'd wipe out cities.
Like 2 vampires are fighting each other. One is a bat vampire, one's a pigeon vampire. Who wins?
What time of day?
No prep time.
Yeah. Oh, brother. Hey, I'm going with pigeon. They're bigger, heftier. I mean, bats can get on you, but they're just tiny. Like I'd want to. If you have the same amount, I'm going pigeons.
Yeah, I think I am too.
So I have something. I didn't think about this, but I'm gonna say this is my number 2. I have this in highlighted, underlined, and in all caps. But when Morena is about to, when she's on the tower and she falls off the tower, right before she does, one of Mehmed's henchmen socks her right in the gut. But it's just like it's the most unnecessary gut shot I've ever seen, and it has the worst gut shot noise ever. It's like a thump. It's and I just love good gut shots. I love unnecessary. I don't condone the striking of women, but gut shots in movies always make me laugh. It seems weird that I'm saying it, but it's so random in this movie. You just don't expect a gut punch. So that's what I'm saying.
Okay. I could get that. I can get behind the idea of like unnecessary gut punches. Yeah. That sounds like a really funny 80s article for action movies. Yeah. It's like all the times a hero got cut, like the best gut punches.
That come out of nowhere. I love random gut punches in movies. They always make me laugh. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm saying right there. That's my number 2.
My number 1 is the coin fight because it is so freaking weird and unnecessary.
I was thinking about this too. I just thought I've never seen this before, and I love it. I don't even know why this I don't get it, but I get it, and it makes sense, and they're doing it, and he keeps who hung up the bags. It's such a weird fight, but I love it. It's beautiful.
Like if that was me and that fight scene happened, it's like, oh no, look at all this the silver. It's like you just step outside the tent and knock the tent over.
Oh, man. I mean, I love it. I would love to do that for a final fight too, because I just think it's worth exploring. It makes me so happy.
I mean, the other option is to have a suit of armor made out of silver, which would be pretty cool.
Whoa. Yeah, you wouldn't find platinum. I'm safe. All right, so I was going to say my number 1 is how he turns the entire village of people into vampires, and they just lay to waste an entire army, and they just love it, and then they want to murder a child. But I guess I just got to go. I'm telling you, I got to go with anything Charles Dance in this movie. I love the look of him. I love his performance. He's just locked in a cave. But I liked the practical effects that they did with him. I liked his attitude. I liked at the end when he walked out, just like like in Saw, game over. Like the world's in trouble now. And I don't know. I just loved having Dance in this. I loved his look. I love the mythology. I kind of like the speech he gives him too when he says, men fear monsters. And when Vlad's talking about, I murdered all these people, I felt nothing. And for every person I spiked, I let 5 go, but everyone talked about the spikes, the impaling that I did on people. And then they said the world needs a monster. And I just thought that conversation was pretty interesting. It reminded me a lot of the discussion from The Mummy that they had about he becomes Van Helsing, he becomes a monster. Geez, they stole from Dracula Untold. But it's I liked the conversation. I thought it had some interesting themes. So I'm gonna go with that. The second meeting with the Master Vampire.
Awesome. So I did not forget about my honorable mention. I'm actually very excited for this one. The Romani's knife skills. I am a sucker for a lackey who can flip his knife around and do crazy things with it. And it's shown like twice in this film, and I was like, yeah, this guy's gonna be a huge player. And then he's only in it for like a total of a minute.
Never introduce somebody with knife skills and then forget about them. Man, I hate wasted knife skills. Desperado, perfect. Commando, perfect. This one, they didn't nail the landing on it. I guess I'll give an honorable mention to all the dragons that you see in the background. So the production designer and director hid dragons everywhere. I don't know if you know that.
No, I didn't.
When you watch the movie again, you'll notice dragons everywhere. At the end, in his room, in the kids' room, you'll see dragons all over the place. So I guess that's my honorable mention. Hey, so how about this? Let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we will talk more Dracula Untold. We'll load up on Code Red in Skulls, and then we'll come back and talk more. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And we've talked about this movie, but I got to do something now. We're gonna do a draft. We have to. You and I have had a staple for a year and a half, 2 years, 2 years maybe that we've been doing this. I don't know, a while. So we're gonna do a draft, and it's a one versus many draft. So we're each gonna pick 5. We're gonna put up on Movies, Films, and Flicks Facebook. People will vote on it. Doesn't matter who wins. Vote for your favorite team. We don't care. It's just for fun. But come over there. It's nice and positive. We have some fun votes. So, since, you know what? Take your first pick.
Well, before we get into that, Mark, can we talk about the curse, the Master Vampire curse?
Yeah, sure.
That feels like the one thing that I